guys, I'm really excited about this because this is something that, you know, this has been my big push within my life and in real estate is to look for ways that I can build my business by doing things that one that I would be doing anyway, and two in ways that doing things that I enjoy. So obviously I enjoy working the various rescue events that we do. With No Time to Spare and with some of the other ones locally, I mean, we probably have two or three a week that I could do. Obviously I don't have always that time to do that. So we're going to walk through kind of picking out those types, what works and what doesn't. So what we're going to discuss is how you choose events. We'd all like to be at every event. Unfortunately, we can't be at everyone. So how do you choose which ones are going to be best to go to? What to wear? Setting up your space, and Chris is going to help us with that because she's got a really cool space that she sets up whenever she does events. Collecting info and how you do that so that you can keep in touch with everybody that you meet. How you introduce yourself and do that without talking about real estate. And then what you do once you've met everybody, you go home, and how you make that the crux of your business. So very first thing, choosing events. I think every rescue event is a chance to build relationships and build your database. Some, of course, offer better opportunities, and some offer better opportunities for different types of people. For me, I love being, I'm not a big event person. I'm not a big gala person. That's not my my cup of tea. I go to them. It's really not how I prefer to interact with people. I prefer mid to small events where they're a little more interactive. So I think that all comes down to your personality. Are you a person who likes to get up in front of a group and talk and be done for the night? Or are you a person that likes to kind of bounce around and meet people individually? So checking which ones, the various types of events available, make sure that you're looking at the size and what works best for you. From a sponsorship side, can you sponsor the event? We sponsor a lot of different things with our friends at No Time to Spare. From, gosh, we did a community garage sale, we did puppy yoga. What I always look for when it comes to sponsoring is, one, will they give us credit for sponsoring? Also, can I provide something? Can I bring snacks? When we did puppy yoga, we just made a giant salad, right, that we brought. And that was our contribution to puppy yoga. So when everybody got done, everybody had a healthy snack to eat. And also, can I bring swag items? So I'm not sure if you guys keep swag items. Everybody knows what swag items are, right? Like monogrammed or logoed various different things. We keep tons of them on hand, from keychains to pens to, I think we've got dog poop bags, like the little poop bag container things that connect to your leash. Funny thing, I was actually at a rescue event last weekend, and some guy asked me for a poop bag. I walked around for 5 minutes, couldn't find one, and then I realized there was one on my leash the whole time. And then I felt really bad because I'm sure the guy saw it. I didn't. I felt really bad that I walked around for 5 minutes looking for something for him. But can I bring those things? The other thing that I look at is, what is the location? You know, is it a small location where you can have some close interaction? Is it a 5K run where everybody's going to be spread out? And each of those are going to be beneficial to different types of agents as well. I like being in a small setting. I like being at the rescue is a big one for me. If they're doing any event at the rescue where I can be hands-on with animals, I absolutely love doing those. Will there be tables? So is it going to be an event where there's booths set up, or is it going to be an event where everybody comes to a single spot and has lunch? Where are those places and that you can get your information out to people, or that you can focus yourself to meet the most people? because that's what I look for. I look to meet everybody I can at the event. Oh, and my other big one is, can I invite clients? Is it something my clients would come to? Because that's a twofold, right? It gives me a chance to interact with the clients. It gives me another touch point throughout the year, and it brings in more money for the rescue. So for instance, trivia nights for me, those are one of my favorites with clients, because what we'll do is we'll get 2 tables just for us and then just invite our clients to come. So that, I don't know if anybody else does trivia nights, or we did a comedy night, I think, one time, where like there was a comedy troupe that came and like did, what was it? It was like improv, kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway, I guess is what they did. But again, it was a spot that everybody could come, everybody had to pass by. And it was a spot where I could, for $10, invite clients. So $10 a piece is all it cost them. And then they come, they spend money, they help the rescue. And then the last thing I look for is, what type of interaction am I going to have? Is it going to be like puppy yoga, where I do the yoga with them and I do all that, and I get a chance to kind of I'm not standing behind a table, if that makes sense. I feel like I do better when I'm part of the group versus when I'm promoting to the group. I don't know if anybody else ever looks at things that way, but I want to be involved with it. I want to be a part of it. It'll also help you decide what swag items you're bringing, how to create those relationships, and how to make lasting impact. Oh, I went back. There we go. So, what to wear, and this is a big one when I see new agents come into the rescue community. So I'm going to give you a little forewarning here. First off, don't overdress. Don't dress like you're coming to an open house to go to a rescue event, unless it's like some gala or something, right? The reality is that if you're at a rescue event where animals are there, you're probably going to get dirty. You might get poop on your shirt. You'll probably get poop on your shirt if there's puppies. At least I always do. What type of shoes you wear, because there's, especially like we do a lot out at the rescue. It's a farm, and people come out to work with us in sandals, and you're gonna get pretty dirty and you're gonna mess up your feet. so know where you're going and what's going to be appropriate, and dress accordingly from that standpoint. You can also use your clothing to announce what you do. If you guys see any of my videos, I always either have a Spotted Dog t-shirt, a Real Estate Pet Project t-shirt, or something that has something to do with pets and houses. So to me, that's my best way to introduce what I do without coming out and saying, "Hi, Joe. I'm Joe. I'm a realtor," right? So I wear one almost every day, but certainly for rescue events, I have a hoodie that has Real Estate Pet Project. I also have different ones that are just for the rescue. I think everybody's probably got rescue swag at home they can wear. I have one that says, rescuing dogs is like the mafia. Once you're in, you can't get out. So I have a zip up one of those. I think showing that you're supporting the rescue, and then being able to show a little bit about what you do without having to say what you do, you can do that a lot of ways through your clothing. And then for everybody that hasn't been on, we do have a Real Estate Pet Project bonfire site where you can go and actually order. I think there's, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's 18 designs on there now, something like that. Some are dog shirts, some are your own shirts. Here's just a couple. There's one this was one for Jamie that said, "Sell houses by day, save cats by night." All of these are available. You can pick from dozens of different types of shirts to put the graphic on. So I will share this out in the group chat and on the event, so that if you guys want to go on and grab some of our ideas, or you want to just grab the shirts, you can certainly do that.
And Joe, I was planning on making a few that have a smaller graphic right in the middle, because in the wintertime, you may not necessarily want to wear a sweatshirt or a hoodie, which you could if it's a outdoor event, really casual. But like if I'm doing one, say at a women's networking group, I might wear that t-shirt but put a blazer on over it because it's cold. It looks funny wearing a t-shirt in wintertime. But some of the graphics on our shirts are really big, so your shirt would cover it up. But if you make it smaller, it kind of peeks through a blazer. Or,
Absolutely.
you know, or you can wear a shirt over a shirt, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't think about putting it in the middle because I'm a t-shirt and blazer guy. Ashley always says the only thing that changes when I get dressed up is I just put my jacket on. Like everything else is the same. I just put a jacket on over it. That's like dressed up Jim.
Yeah, yeah. So, some that are just a little, I'll make some that are just a little bit smaller in scale so you can see them with a blazer on.
I love it. I love it. And guys, I would wear stuff like that to everything you do. I don't wear a brokerage t-shirt when I go out places.
No.
It's always my team or real estate pet project so that people say, what is that? What is that? What is that? Right. So when you're setting up your space, and Chris does a really good job with this too, if you have a table to set up, I think it's vital that you set it up correctly without it being too salesy, if that makes sense. I don't want a 6-foot vinyl poster about why you should sell your house, right? That's not really what I think is going to make people walk up to me. So what
Usually
I look
walk away.
exactly, they ignore it. They go, oh, I don't want to talk to that guy, right? We actually use two different tabletop posters, basically. One is this one here. So this is our team one that just is very basic, but it tells who we are and what we do. And then I always keep this one, which is about Real Estate Pet Project, because I know that I get a lot of referrals that way. A lot of people, well, they might be moving out of town. Now they go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can work with them. So we keep both of these up at all times on basically each edge of our table when we have a table. And it gets a lot of good responses from people that just don't know what we're doing. The second piece is swag. Let me grab my swag list here because I had quite a few. Of course, keychains work great. My favorite, like I said, is poop bags. So you can buy the little poop bag container and it's got the little clip that clips onto the top of your leash. Those are my favorite. People just take them even if they're not going to use them. They always have them. I keep them in the back of my car just because people ask so often. The other one that you can do that's fairly inexpensive is those rubber pop-up bowls. A lot of us keep those in the back of our cars anyway, and you can get those and have them printed. I want to say they're like $1.12 a piece or something the last time I looked. So those are really cheap swag pieces. And then another one that I like for rescuers more than just for the visitors is slip leads. We go through slip leads at the rescue, and every rescue will tell you that that's the one thing that they can always use more of, because everybody keeps them in the back of their cars in case they run across an animal. You're always needing them to get animals in and out. So slip leads, you can now basically it's like a screen printing they do on it, and those are pretty cheap too if you want to do it. Do you have any other swag stuff that you do, Chris?
Well, if I don't have any, or I'm going to a small event that it wouldn't warrant spending the money on swag, because sometimes you have to order a minimum. I have even just gone to the local independent pets supply place and gotten healthy biscuits and wrapped them in cellophane and tied, my business card onto it. I make a special business card that has real estate pet project on the back for those. And I just load the table up with all, and so people see that cellophane, with the ribbon, and they're like, oh, what is that? And I was like, well, it's healthy enough for you to eat, but it's really for your dog because
Right.
I buy the without any garbage and low allergy in case people have pets with allergies. So I'll just load the table up because you could buy a big box of them and make, 100 of them. And then you don't have to buy swag specifically.
That's awesome. I love that idea. I love that. I'm not good at working my presentation yet, guys. I apologize. As far as information, I don't like to bring really anything that's salesy, brochure, that type of thing. I always bring business cards with me. And I also will bring just a little plastic piece with a QR code that has my business card on it to make it easy for people to just put it in their phone if they need it.
Yeah,
The other
QR code right on that poster. The poster I use that has about real estate pet project, I put my QR code right on there so people can scan it.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's gonna. I don't like giving out business cards. I really don't.
Mm.
I feel like they just get thrown away. I also, what we have is we have a guide to moving with pets, and we're going to start using that at any of our events because it's not salesy. It's all how the things you can do to protect yourself and your pet when you're moving. That piece, and any pack members, you guys are welcome to that. It's on our Canva, and I can share that to you guys if you want to put your own logos. But it's 20 pages. It cost me, I think, 80 cents to print each one. And you're not going to get everybody to take it, but even if a couple people do, it's a nice booklet that shows that you care and that's what you focus on, is helping animals. And then the last thing is some sort of way to collect info. Okay, whether that's an ongoing raffle you have, whether it's like we did the pet photo contest, even if it's something that you can put out that is beneficial for the rescue, one of their raffles, because this is one of the things I see a lot of even rescues lack, is they don't promote their fundraisers at other fundraisers. Does that make sense? Like, we never have an event thing that says, hey, here's everything that's coming up. So I think sometimes you're able to help them as well. Now, collecting info, you've got to find ways to collect information at every single event. That's what's going to allow you to use this to build your database and build your real estate business. And so I'm always looking for some way that I can collect names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails. And not only do I collect them, we also give them all to the rescue so that the rescue is able to use those to send out invites in the future, send out donation requests, send out stories, all of that. So we don't only keep it ourselves, we also allow the rescues to have that. My favorite ways to do that, well, my favorite is raffles. That's usually the easiest, simplest way, right? We do raffles for Chewy gift cards, seem to be a big one. If you do a Chewy gift card, $100 Chewy gift card, you will get every single person that shows up to sign up. Pet friendly restaurants, you'll get a lot of people with that. And a lot of times you can get those either free or seriously discounted from the restaurant. So if you go up to the restaurant and say, hey, I'm looking for a gift certificate to give away during a raffle, they'll give you something. And the same with boarding and training vouchers. So I know we've given away a training program with our trainer, basically group coaching. I think it was like 3 or 4 months of group coaching. So all of those things can be used as raffles, and there's hundreds of different things. Dog beds are another big one. I found one dog bed that was like $1,400 that I was going to buy just to say we were giving away the most expensive dog bed I'd ever seen. But though, there's tons of different raffles you can do. And when I started thinking about this, one of the agents with Spotted Dog said, well, I did a treat giveaway, and I forgot about doing those. So, or a guess the treats situation. The way you do that, of course, is you get a big jar and you fill it with dog treats, and then everybody guesses. You have them fill out their information. At the end, you all right. I think you have to count them before you put them in. I think is what Joanna said, to make sure I count them before I put them in versus at the event, which is probably the smarter way to do it. But put all those in, collect all that information, and do the giveaway at the end of the event, and then give them the treats or the prize, treats in the jar. So what I will say for any of these, I would, whether your CRM has some way to do sign up, or you use Google Forms, something like that, I would look for a way to do digital sign up for everything. You can use QR codes for that too. We have a stand for an iPad that people can just do it right there. I would find some way to do it digitally, because otherwise you have to come back and you have to enter all these people into your CRM first off. And secondly, you end up with all these little chunks of paper all over the place and things get lost. It's find a way. I like Google Forms just with a QR code. That's my easiest way to do it. It's free. If anybody has any questions about Google Form, let me know. It takes 3 or 4 minutes to set it up and you're good to go. You collect all the information. And then the other one is ongoing fundraisers. So if you have some fundraiser that you do or that the rescue's doing that is outside of that event, I always think it's a good idea to get those things out there. So for instance, we do a monthly Chewy we're doing a monthly Chewy gift card giveaway with our team. We will take that to every single fundraiser we do. We'll take information about that so people can sign up at the fundraiser. You have anything on collected info, Chris?
No, I do the same thing with a Google form. Sometimes I do have a few little pieces of paper with lines on them, because sometimes I do get an older folk, that'll say, oh, I don't know how to, do that. And they, so I let them fill it out, and enter it in manually.
That's a good point. So you probably want to have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I would encourage people to go to your Google form, because then it's
that's easy.
Easy to dump it into whatever you're using to keep in touch with people going forward. So, introducing yourself. So this is, I hate to talk about real estate at a rescue event. Even if I have a table, I don't want to talk real estate. So typically my conversation model is pretty simple. I usually ask them, the very first thing I ask them is, have you been involved with rescue, or do you come to a lot of rescue events? That's really my favorite opening line, right? Then you can feel them out. So, no, this is my first one. This is my first one for this rescue. I go to everyone I can run into. Now you have a conversation that you can follow along with and relate to, and they can relate to you. The second thing we ask about is the event that we're doing or the rescue that we're working with. So, have you come to other events for No Time to Spare? Have you worked with No Time to Spare before? Have you ever been out to the office or to the rescue? Have you ever been out to the farm? All of those kind of questions that we can ask to create a relationship. And then, of course, and you will, I promise, get sick of seeing pictures of other people's dogs. But ask them about their animals. That, I promise you, they'll talk to you for 30 minutes about their animals. But you'll get sick of seeing other people's dogs, I will say. I always tease my rescue friends, like everybody shows you their dog all the time. Like, oh, look how cute my dog is. And you're like, yeah. Um, and then the last one is I always ask. So whenever somebody tells me, oh, I have 4 dogs, I always say, oh man, that's got to be expensive. And then usually you can lead in something to what they do, or, if somebody tells me they have horses, I'll, oh, you must have a lot of property to be able to pull that off. That kind of thing can usually lead into either the housing conversation or the work conversation, which are both what leads them to ask you about real estate. If you
Can
ask
you
somebody,
repeat, can you repeat those questions, those introduction questions? I don't think I got them right. I'm writing notes.
yep. So first off, I always ask if they come to a lot of rescue events. Okay. And that's going to lead them to either say, yes, no, this is my first one. This is the first one I've come to for so and so. I get a lot of that. This is the first one I've come to for No Time to Spare. And then I'll ask, have you been out to the rescue? Have you followed along with what they've done? Start asking about the rescue your event that you're at. Then it's always, what kind of pets do you have? And that's the conversation that's going to have them going forever. Right? Because they're going to tell you every pet they've had since they were 3 years old. And they're going to show you all the pictures, and you're going to get to create that link between, oh, I love my dog, and oh, this person's really cool. And then you're stepping into work or house from there. So I have 4 dogs. Gosh, that's got to put a lot of stress on you. What do you do for a living? I've got horses. Man, that must take a lot of space. Where do you guys live at? It's going to lead to one of those things. So either of those things open up the conversation to real estate, or at least tag you in their mind to being that person. Make sense? See, I think I got it. And then the last one is follow up. And guys, first off, this is where everybody else fails. So everybody else that does an event for any type of charity, for schools, for any number of, I've seen people do golf tournaments or, whatever charity they do it for. This is what everybody fails at, right? Because everybody meets people, they create a conversation, and then that's the last time that person hears from them. So that now that you've met with people, you've shared your passion for animals, you've created the conversation, what do you do with all the information that you've collected, right? So my first thing that I do, and I do this every single Monday when we do a rescue event, I always send a text and thank them for coming to the event. Thanks for stopping by the booth. I try to reference something about that person if I have it. So if it's somebody that I had a conversation with, and I remember their dog, I tend to remember breed more than name. So, like if you're a husky person, like you get in your own little world within me. And if you're a pity owner, you're in that world, right? So I'm looking to say, hey, great meeting you at the such and such event. Wanted to make sure that you had my contact information. Here's my card. Hope so-and-so's doing well. Hope you have a great week. Something like that. Something that allows them to remember who I was, remember where they met me, and why they should save my number. Pretty simple. The second piece of that is newsletters. So if you're not doing a newsletter in real estate, I think you are missing the boat. And if you are doing a newsletter, I would include rescue events into your newsletter, because it will give people a reason to open your newsletter, even if they have no reason to buy or sell a house. Otherwise, what's going to happen is those people are going to get ignored, and they're going to become spam to people, and people aren't going to be opening. If you put your rescue events in there, as soon as people start seeing it, you'll see your open rate jump dramatically. It's also why we send our newsletters on Thursdays so that people know the whole weekend what's going on. And it allows you again to remind people of what you do, because even though they know where they met you, they're still seeing real estate content. And then the last piece is event invites. The next event I'm going to, I'm sending a text to those people. I keep them in a list, and that way I can mass text them if I need to, but I will send that group a message. Hey, this weekend we have trivia night. If you haven't signed up yet, doors open at 7 and you can purchase a table at the door. Would love to see you there. Or, hey, it's trivia night. We have a couple extra tables. We'd love to see you guys. It's no charge. You guys come sit with us and enjoy the festivities or whatever, right? I think event invites, even if it's just your clientele, not people you've necessarily met through rescue, I think they are some of the most underutilized and most valuable touches you can have with clients. Even if they don't come, you're reminding them of your passion without really being too forward about it. That makes sense? Questions and comments. Is there anything that I missed? I think I went down everything we do, start to finish. Caitlin, you got a question?
No, actually, this was like perfect timing because I just signed up for a vendor market that Community Pet Project is doing, and then the next month I have our Art on the Farm at the Sanctuary around the corner from me. So, and both of them I have, booths and everything. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I actually had just bought a cute little silly but kitty coasters diamond painting kit, and I was going to go ahead and do those and resin them up and everything and put those in as a giveaway or in my raffle or whatever. So I was like, that's kind of a cool idea. But I really liked the idea of doing the guess how many treats are in the jar. Like it's so simple and but like works. Like I'm the queen of overthinking things, so I was just like, oh my gosh, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and I think there's so many different things you can do from that perspective, but the treat jar is the cheapest, and almost everybody's going to sign up, because then it's a competition. It's not about winning the raffle, it's about being right.
Yeah.
Right. And people want to be right more than they give a crap about the treats.
So then not only are you reaching out, then like that kind of brings up another point there. You're not just reaching out then to the winner, but you reach out then to everybody. Here was the correct answer and everything. Oh, wow. Woo!
Yeah, it's just a mass text or a mass email that goes out. You were this close.
When you're doing other people's events too, you're going to want to ask, because I learned this early on, if there is a table provided for you. Some of these events don't provide you with a table, so you need to buy a table. I got one of those fold up. I think it's a 6-foot fold up table, and it has a little handle so you can carry it. And I bought a black tablecloth, from Amazon, that goes to the floor, so you don't. You look a little bit professional, not just a plain banquet table popped up. And if it's an all-day event, hold on, I just got this. I got this little fold-up chair from Amazon.
Nice.
It just pops up into a stool so that you can sit if you need to. Because if it's an all-day event and there's no chair provided, oh, you're looking for a place to sit for sure.
That's fair.
I use this chair at empty open houses too. So
I have just like a lawn chair, like a camping chair that you fold out that I take everywhere anyways.
Yeah,
so I've got all that and everything. Thank goodness. I've already done, because I used to work, direct sales or whatever you want to call it, network marketing. Yeah. So I have all that already and everything. So thankfully I don't have to like get all that together anymore.
Something you said, Chris, full day events. Two things I would make sure of when you're doing log events, especially things that are around the rescue that you work with. One, bring an extra shirt and bring extra shoes. Because if you don't step in poop, a puppy's going to get poop on your shirt.
Or pee, or yeah.
I mean, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen the one time that you don't bring a second shirt. So just throw a second shirt in your in your bag or in your car and make sure you do that, because that's the odds. The other thing that I will mention that I didn't think about was there's a lot of dog focused events that other companies will put on around your area. All right. I just had a friend that was doing it for his business. They, it was like a doggy days thing. They had 2 or 3 different rescues. They had a couple of the local pet stores. We were there, and it was free because they just wanted people to be there. And so we had a booth, we had a tent, and then we were able to put stuff out, and it was free. And I didn't have to invite anybody. I didn't have to do any of the work. So I would look for that at any business owners, that have storefronts that do that kind of stuff. I would definitely look into how you can, any of those that you can kind of piggyback on, where you can bring a table and do just like you would at a rescue event at those types of things. So
yeah, that's a good idea. We just had what was it, National Dog Day or whatever, and it happened to be on a Saturday, and one of the parks over here in Lakeland had this really big dark brunch thing. And that I didn't realize it until a couple days before. I was like, oh, I could have been there and done all of that, but I ended up filming and then talking with a bunch of the vendors, so at least I got like contacts for their videos. But yeah, that would have been a really good one, I think, to be at and advertise and stuff for sure.
One more FYI, and this is going to sound counterproductive to most of us. I would not bring your own animals to an event that you're working. If it's an event that you're just participating, it's puppy yoga and you're participating, something like that, that's different. If it's an event that you're sponsoring and being a part of, I would not bring your own animal. Simply because it takes away from your conversation with them. So what'll happen is people will spend their entire time talking to you about your dog instead of you talking to them about their dog, which is really what you want to be doing. So I will forewarn that, because I see that a lot. And I see a lot of agents bringing their dog that's not behaved to different events too. And if your dog's not behaved, don't bring it.
That's why Albert doesn't go with me to much, because like he's well behaved, but he thinks he needs to acknowledge everybody needs to acknowledge him. And it's like, I can't have that when I'm trying to talk to people.
Yeah. Well, and the last little nugget that I'll give to everybody is, when you're at an event, whether you're brand new to rescue, whether you've been with the rescue forever, and you have a booth or you have a table, take the time to go clean pins once in a while. Take the time to go go strengthen that relationship with the other volunteers, because a lot of times they don't see you as a contributor the same way they are. And so taking that time and getting dirty and cleaning up dogs and taking a dog for a walk around, or all of those things, are going to ingratiate you to the rescue community, not just the people that are visiting. And those are going to be the people that know, love, and trust you and refer you to every single person they've ever met. So I will implore you guys to do some of the dirty work a little bit. Help load dogs, all of that kind of stuff. It'll go a long way for your rescue friends and them trusting you. Any other questions from anybody else? No? So the last thing I'll leave you guys with, I know a lot of people on here are a part of the pack. I know there's probably some people that will see this or that are on right now that are not. Wanted to give you guys just a little quick rundown of what the pack is at Real Estate Pet Project. This is our private group that we help everybody build their business around their passion for rescue animals and give you resources to do so. So here's a little bit of what we do. You guys can kind of read that as you go. If anybody has any questions, you can certainly message me on this group or message us on Real Estate Pet Project, and Chris or I will reach out and we will talk to you about what the pack does. So hope this helps everybody. Hope you guys learned a lot, and we'll have more trainings coming up. And of course, from all of us, have your pets spayed and neutered. Thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.